Thank you for tuning in to watch our Invest Miami 2023 launch conference. You're about to watch panel number 1, Adaptation and Ingenuity, how the professional services are planning today for a strong tomorrow. Enjoy.
Well, first off, thank you to Capital Analytics for inviting me here. I've spoken before, but it's only been on Zoom, and it's not quite as exciting. Great to see so many people in the room, packed house, and there are seats at the Baker table. You can come sit over there. So I invite anyone to come sit over there. You know, as a managing partner of a New York office of a global firm, I've sort of had a front row seat into watching innovation and what it's been doing in the personal services arena for our industry. And then I've had the privilege for the last 5 years to be managing our Miami office, and that has been more exciting to watch, especially with the growth that's happened over the last few years. I think last I saw, there are about 200 companies that moved their headquarters, many of which are in the personal service area. Many are going into the building that I'm trying to move into eventually. So it's been exciting to watch, and it really is affecting our industry tremendously. So we have a great panel, all in personal service. So welcome to all of you. So I don't think we could start any panel talking about innovation, especially in our area, but probably anywhere, without talking about AI. It's affecting all of us. I'm sure it's affecting everyone in the room. In fact, this morning when I was getting dressed, I was listening to CNBC, and they said there's a report out that in the next 5 years, 85 million jobs will be lost from AI. Obviously, many jobs will be created, there'll be many opportunities, but I think we all see it, and we see the evolution happening quite quickly. I mean, it really has taken over faster than any of us probably imagined. So maybe I'll start with you, Albert. As a Chief Innovation Officer, obviously this is near and dear to you, and I'm sure everyone's coming to you with questions on it. So how is it affecting your company? Sort of what are you seeing? What are you planning for? Were you guys early adopters in it? And sort of where are you going with it at this point?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Scott. So, you know, our approach, if you think of, some of you might have seen the movie No Country for Old Men, and towards the end of it, there's a line that says, "You can't stop what's coming." And that's kind of been our approach or mindset as it relates to AI. You know, embrace it rather than resist it. Find ways to integrate it into our business, find ways to work better, faster, smarter, to enhance the client experience. The thinking is, you know, those ways are out there now, and if you don't find them or use them, your competitors will. So with that in mind, ways that we're embracing it, early this summer we released an AI policy that offers guidelines and guidance to our employees on best practices as it relates to platforms like ChatGPT. At the heart of that is you know, ethical and responsible use of platforms like GPT. Human oversight is a component, important component. Data privacy. Under no circumstance can any employee enter client information or PII, personally identifiable information. That's been the AI policy. We're now going to further that with an AI strategy that we're going to share and communicate with the firm in the next 30 to 60 days. Phase 1 of that strategy is education, giving or providing our employees basic understanding of what AI is, the different types of AI, different use cases we're seeing in the profession, and then we want to complement that in, you know, maybe November with an AI-based innovation contest where we have our employees share ideas that can further a service line or a process or add business value on the client side.
I'll hold this for now. Ray, so your role, VP of Sales, Latin America, and the US South, I believe. How are you seeing it, and is it affecting sort of the work you're doing and the type of work that Checkpoint is doing at this point in AI?
Thank you for that. First of all, I'd like to thank the organization for inviting us to this event. I'm very proud to be here and share our vision, our strategy, and how we can help enterprises, public and private, confront this challenge. AI is both a tremendous opportunity as well as a challenge. My peer here identified some of the challenges we have. There are privacy issues, there are ethical issues that need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed earlier rather than later. AI will have a bigger effect exponentially than social media had on our world. So we need to get ahead of the game. We as a company, a cybersecurity company, 30 years, Israeli-based, headquartered in Silicon Valley. Here in the state of Florida, we have about 20 people. In South Florida specific, about half of them. We've been using AI for over 30 years. We were early innovators and developers. We have to go faster though, because we know today they're going to come in to that corner of the window there. The attackers are going to come in dressed in orange, and he's going to be wearing high heels. When we identify that, we block them. Tomorrow, they're going to come in another door, and they're going to be dressed in yellow, and they're going to be wearing sneakers, and they're going to continue to innovate and continue to attack us. And we're talking about phishing attacks. We're talking about ransomware. We're talking about bots. All the challenges that present as we try to innovate, but at the same time open an opportunity. Our strategy is based on the concept of prevention. Not that detection isn't important, but prevention is better. We've been using AI, as I mentioned, for quite a long time. We know we have to continue to innovate because this is a race. When we talk about prevention, we talk about the concept of the best security. Second best isn't enough. It's got to be the best. And our philosophy on best is based on 3 C's, 3 basic principles. It's got to be collaborative, meaning it's got to be able to address endpoint, whether it's your telephone device, whether it's your IoT, your thermometer at home, all the aspects that are connected to the internet. It's got to be comprehensive, meaning it's got to be deep. It's got to be able to solve all the challenges we have. And it's got to be consolidated, meaning it's got to be simple. This is a complicated issue. Making it more complicated isn't going to help. So our offering to the market, to our customers, whether it be enterprises, public or private, is talk to us. We have a solution to help you face this challenge. Both a challenge and an opportunity. An opportunity for innovation, for more services to your customers, for more protection of your valuable assets, whether it be financial, whether it be privacy data, whether it be information that you need to protect your brand, your image. So that's our value prop. We can help customers confront the innovation side, the opportunity, as well as the challenge side, privacy and ethical issues.
Thank you, Red. Well, I'll try and talk a little cyber with you in a few minutes as well. But maybe we'll turn over to Craig. At Hancock, what are you guys doing at this point? And you get out ahead of it? Are you an early adopter? See the business model changing?
Well, the best analogy I could probably give is if you're walking or running and your shoelace comes untied, what do you have to do to tie it? You pretty much have to stop. Well, implementing or adapting to AI is like trying to tie your shoe while you're walking or running. And then for us as a CPA firm and working with our clients on that, it's like trying to tie their shoes while they're running. So it's a monumental challenge. The other big issue we have that we're trying to address at Hancock Askew is really, we have a generational issue, right? I'm 52 years old. AI never was an occurrence for me in terms of, or I could have foreseen what it would be today. But how do we take our young professionals and our young, individuals who will be the stewards of this very, very powerful tool, and how do we mentor them to be able to make good, sound decisions, associated with it, whether it's the moral or ethical, or just even the business side of it. And so we're really focusing on kind of the human capital component of this, dealing a lot with soft skills, right, of our people, learning about, cognitive empathy and things of that nature, so that we can really be a good steward of AI, because we're kind of sitting back and letting it unfold to a large extent, but it's undoubtedly, penetrating into all of our clients, our business, and it's a challenge, but it's also very, very exciting.
Terrific. So Jeff, corporate banker, we'll talk banking maybe if we have time in a few minutes. I'm sure people will be interested to hear from you on that. But how is it affecting the AI? How's AI affecting sort of your world and the banking world, and especially the regional banks? Are they using it now? How are they using it, and how's it being adopted?
Sure. Thank you, Abby and Capital Analytics, for today. Appreciate being here. I would tell you the regulators obviously require banks to be front and center around data, customer privacy, security. So that is clearly step one in the process, and we're at the forefront of those conversations. I would tell you the application today, whether it's ChatGPT or what have you, is really to enable the customer experience. The ability to complement the human interactions that we have with our customers, whether it's consumer banking or commercial banking, to get simple customer service questions answered, simple capabilities set up where there's commonality around the questions and the data set to give predictive guidance. But it's really an add-on, it's additive to the overall client experience. The human element for corporate banking, for wealth management, for what all of us do up here, it's not going to go anywhere. Clearly there'll be technologies that are additive, but I would just say that it's all about creating the optionality and the efficiencies and different modes of service fulfillment for the customer base, whether it's consumer, largely consumer today, and in some cases commercial.
Terrific. So let's turn gears. So I live in New York. I do have a place here, and I spend my time back and forth. And I've been watching sort of this growth, as I mentioned earlier, in this market. I know some people refer to it now as sort of big city problems, and traffic and schools and infrastructure, bandwidth, and we're moving into 830 Brickell, which is the new building going up, and very exciting. But bunch of law firms, big firms. You have big companies going in. You have Citadel obviously going in. So you're going to pull a lot of people into that spot. I'm hearing from the folks that I work with in my office here how it's affecting sort of their life in terms of it's exciting. There's no doubt about it. I mean, for me coming from the outside, it's fantastic. And just watching it, all the restaurants and the growth has been amazing. But I think it's affecting our businesses in terms of getting people, keeping people happy, doing all the things we need that big city problems now cause. Are you seeing that? I mean, are you seeing it within your people? Is that affecting your business at this point? And any ideas and thoughts of innovative-wise to move that forward?
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned some of the issues with traffic. It all was kind of the catalyst was COVID, right? So the threat or is kind of, we're having difficulty, as I'm sure a lot of other companies out there are, with the hybrid remote workplace environment. One of the things is productivity and how that impacts the overall dynamic of the organization. So we're still trying to figure that out. We want our employees to kind of come into the office, but given the traffic, given all these other dynamics, given the housing, the cost of living increase, we're seeing more employees kind of move outside of Miami, and that kind of puts pressure on us to strike the right balance between what makes the most sense from a business perspective and what makes the most sense from an employee work-life balance perspective. And it's a challenge. We're trying to do things, whether on the innovation side, to reduce friction, the number of different programs, change management, which is always a challenge for us, trying to find ways to lessen that disruption. But it's a process. So we're still going through it, and I don't think there's a silver bullet right now for us to say, well, we've figured it out. We're just continuing to work through it.
I will say that I am helping to alleviate the problem. So I bought like an electric bike, and I take my bike from my apartment. I did it for the first time yesterday to the Metro Mover, and I take the Metro Mover across to my office. So I'm doing my part. So I'm trying to keep the traffic down. So Ray, I'll turn to you with the same question.
Thank you. Yes, we are impacted by these challenges in the inner city. As I mentioned, we've got about 20 people in Florida, about half of them in South Florida, and they all work from home. We don't have a physical location where we meet. So challenge that we have that both defines our strategy from a product point of view, our product offering, as well as a company, is we've got to protect you not just in a physical building, but everywhere you go, because you have an iPhone, you have an iWatch, you may have another intelligent device, you have your laptop, and you're using it not just in the office and at home, you're using it in a cafe, you're using it in a hotel. So that presents both a challenge and an opportunity, because the perimeter, as we called it in the technology world, is no longer a physical building. It's each and every one of us because of the multiple devices we carry. That presents both a challenge and an opportunity. It helps productivity, it helps satisfaction, but it also presents a challenge. We have a shortage of cybersecurity experts, especially women in the marketplace. We're making a big effort because there just aren't enough of you to come help us in position cybersecurity. So that's one of the challenges we have. There just aren't enough qualified individuals who can speak this language and who can help present value to the end user.
So if you're looking for a cyber job, we know where to go. So Craig, I'll turn to you with the same question, what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I would say probably the biggest hurdle that we have to overcome is, young professionals don't see a clear pathway to economic independence here in South Florida. Affordable housing is the root, I think, for me, one of the main root causes. The idea of home ownership for a young professional seems unattainable, whether it's saving for a down payment or being able to afford these prices. I think, what this challenge can do is provide a tremendous opportunity for employers to start thinking creatively about compensation arrangements, right? So not just the work environment between hybrid and remote, but like getting creative on, compensation arrangements that will help individuals, see a pathway, to be able to achieve some of those things. And we think that's what's going to be really vital for employee retention, and for having a really long-term sustainable business here in South Florida. And so it's a tough challenge, but I think if we work together, we can absolutely be a leader, not only to the rest of Florida, but I think the country, because we do have such a special place here in Miami.
Totally agree. Jeff?
I'm going to build on that. I'll be a cheerleader for a minute for Florida and for Dade County. The affordable housing issue is real, but I think collaboration and investment is happening. When you look at Dade County, I think they're a leader in land donations, parking arrangements, shared parking, that is, the surtax allocated to affordable housing. So they're doing all the right things early on in terms of big city challenges, right? And it's all relative. We all travel nationally, so I think we're doing the right things. With respect to education, I'm from San Francisco, and again, everything's relative. I have 2 kids in the public school system here, and we've been here 22 years. The choices we have in this state, be it traditional, public, charter school, private, Florida virtual, I think is fantastic. And the voucher program that was recently passed creates more choice and empowerment for parents. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here that maybe we don't step back and say, wow, it's really attractive for the business community and for families that other states don't have.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. I don't see Natalie anywhere yelling at me that I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to keep going. So, okay. They said she'd be sitting up front. I don't see her, so we have the whole day together, apparently. So I can keep going, don't worry. Albert, let's sort of build on this a little bit with you at least, because again, I'm fascinated by your role as an chief innovation officer. So, do you have a whole bunch of little innovation officers that run around? So, no. In terms of, we touched a bit on labor issues, and Ray threw out job offers already since he got here. So, and I know we're facing this, and the constant challenge in terms of getting the right people, and then keeping the people. Obviously, keeping people happy, well-being is near and dear to me. It's something very important to me. So we're very focused on it. Is there anything sort of in your role or from an innovative side you're doing to try and get people, to keep people, to focus on that part of it? Because it's not just in Miami or in South Florida that we have these issues. We have them everywhere right now. But here, I think more so than any, because of this incredible growth. So anything you guys are doing as it relates to that?
Yeah, thank you. So the limited labor pool has become a challenge, especially in light of COVID. So some of the things that we're doing on the traditional side, we've opened operations in offshore in India and China since COVID. We've hired about approximately 50 employees there. But on the innovation and technology side, the goal not only is to work better, faster, smarter, but also to do more with less. The more we can do with technology, the less our dependency on going to the market to find talent. So the plea to management is, let's force ourselves to find a way to do more with less, not by adding bodies, but via better tools, via technology, via AI. So some of the things that we're doing with the goal of freeing up as many billable hours as possible using technology is, ChatGPT is great for, the little things like email or content creation, presentations, so on and so forth. That frees up a little bit of time on the for professionals. But we have a team of software developers, and we've developed a few, 15 apps over the last 6-7 years. We're now training AI models to basically start doing tasks that humans do that are very highly repeatable and straightforward. So we're feeding it data, we're feeding it tax forms, W-2s, K-1s, 1099s, with the ultimate goal of assuming a large portion of the tax preparation process. So we're going to start with level 1s, which are more simple, and then we're going to move up the value chain. Ultimately, this could free up thousands of billable hours, which again lessens our dependency on going to the marketplace. Also improves the employee experience, because they get to move up the value chain and work on more exciting, jobs and whatnot.
So of course I shouldn't have said that I had all that time, because then she came in and said we have 5 minutes, and that was 3 minutes ago. So 30 seconds, I'm going to change questions. So 30 seconds, what are you most excited about that's going on right now and going towards the future and South Florida, Ray?
I would say it's about innovation. ChatGPT as an AI engine presents tremendous opportunity for all entities, whether public or private, to provide exceptional service to their customers, to their end users, innovate and show new uses of technology. But at the same time, confront the issue of ethics and privacy.
30 seconds, Craig. I'll give you the same question.
You bet. Well, number one, the Dolphins and Hurricanes seem to be on the right path, so that's pretty good. I think for my biggest concern is really in the area of mental health. I know a lot of what we've been focusing on is on the human side or human capital side. We're in this period of tremendous transformation, and I'm not sure that our youth or even any of us have evolved fast enough to compete with that. And so really working hard to be able to let the AI and technology do what it does, so that we can really focus on the individual and continuing to build the whole self.
Jeff, I'm going to throw a different 30
I
seconds.
got negative 30 seconds?
You have now, see, you notice I'm not looking at Natalie now because I'm sure she's like waving her hands.
I'm glad I don't know who Natalie is.
But we started early, so we got more time. So just real quick, because I do think this is important for people. It's a little different question. I did want to get to it. But obviously you're in a regional bank. Lots have happened. We all know that. Tell us how regional banks are doing, and we're good for the future, and it all looks good, and that's the positive you're leaving us with.
Ditto what he just said. No, all joking aside, March was a little bit wild in terms of what transpired, but the short answer is I have all the confidence in the banking system, whether it's a large money center bank, a regional bank, a community bank. From a capital perspective and safety and soundness standpoint, you should feel good. We talked about March last week. There were extraordinary factors that occurred, and I think social media and technology really accelerated some of those issues, but thank God they've subsided. There's calmness. We've gone through second quarter earnings. Everything's looking just fine. And what banks are dealing with now is normal cyclical yield curve issues and credit tightening. But I think it's safe to say you can find the support you need. When it's tighter from a credit perspective, that makes it harder, obviously. But in terms of relying on your bank for your deposit relationship and having insured deposit solutions and the support you need, you're in a good place.
Terrific. Great way to end it. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Abby. Thanks, Max, wherever you are.